Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to tell you a story of Quackling the duck. Everybody called this duck named Quackling Quackling because he quacked a lot, and he was really loud when he quacked. And so, Quackling had a lot of money too because he worked really hard and he was really smart and clever. Smart and clever mean the same thing, but you get the idea. He was really good, and so he got lots of money. And he had so much money, in fact, that the king came over and he borrowed money from Quackling. And a year went by and the king never brought back the money. And then 2 years went by and 3 years went by and he never gave Quackling the money that he needed. And so Quackling got angry because this king wasn't paying him his money back. So he got this bag to bring to the castle and he was going to take his money back. And so he said, "Quack, quack, quack, I want my money back." And so he starts off down the road, and as he's traveling, he goes to this ladder to crawl over this wall, because ducks are kind of short, and so they need ladders sometimes to get over things. And so he meets this ladder, and he's about to climb up it, and the ladder says, "Hey, Quackling." And Quackling is kind of scared, because the ladder at first is like, "Oh wait, this is a fairy tale story. It's fine, ladders talk all the time." And so Quackling says the ladder, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to the palace to get my money back from the king." And the ladder's like, "Oh, can I come with you?" And Quackling's like, "Oh, sure. I mean, you can't have too many friends. Ladder's probably helpful sometime in the future of this story." Yep. And so he grabs the ladder and he puts it in the sack, because it's a magical sack and big things can fit in it. And so he stuffs it in the sack, and then they go traveling down the road, and they kind of talk along the way. They become pretty good friends. And as they're going by, they need to cross this river. And they go to the river, and the river's like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And Quackling's like, "Oh, we're going off to see the king so I can get my money back." And so the river's like, "Oh, can I come?" He's like, "Oh, sure. I mean, you can't have too many friends, so you can come along too." So the river goes into the magical sack. Once again, this is only work if it was magical. Don't try this at home. And then all three of them start traveling down the road. And as they're traveling, they go through this grove full of trees, and one of the trees is a beehive, and the beehive yells at them. I don't know if this is like the beehive talking, or like all the bees talking at the same time, or the mother bee or something, but I'm just going to call it the beehive. Don't think too hard about it. The beehive yells down at him, he's like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And Quackling, after he freaks out and then regains himself, he stops freaking out after a beehive just yelled at him. He's like, "Oh, we're going off to see the king." And so the beehive's like, "Oh, hey, can I come with you?" He's like, "Oh, sure, you can't have too many friends." And he kind of looks down the sack and he's like, "Oh, it's kind of full already. Yeah, but I can probably fit you in there." So he shoves the beehive into the sack, and so he has this gigantic full sack. And he's walking down, and he finally gets to the castle. And they go to the castle, and the guards yell out, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And Quackling's like, "I'm coming here to get my money back." So the guards are like, "Okay." And so the guards go over and they leave Quackling outside the castle, and they go over to the throne room and they tell the king that Quackling's here to get his money, and the king gets angry. He's like, "I'm the king, I can take whatever I want. Who does Quackling think he is?" And so the king orders the guards, and they come over and they go outside to Quackling and they drag him inside the castle and they throw him and his little sack full of stuff in the pit, in this evil pit where they put their prisoners to starve and die. And so they're down there, and Quackling starts crying. He's like, "Oh no, how am I going to get out?" And he's like, "Wait a second. I have a ladder in this bag, and I'm in a pit." Oh. So he takes the ladder out of the bag, and he puts it up against the wall, and he climbs up the ladder, and he's like, "Yes, I'm out." And he's out there, and the guards look over and they're like, "Oh, what the? You're supposed to stay in that pit. You're supposed to die in there, dang it." And so they run over to the throne room, and they tell the king what happened, and the king's like, "What? How do you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You didn't say we weren't looking." "Well, you're supposed to be looking." "Oh, dang it, sorry." And so the king's like, "Okay, never mind. It's okay. Just go and bring them and cook him in my soup." And so the guards take the duck, Quackling, and they bring him over into this pot, and they stick him in it with his bag. I don't know why they put the bag in there. Maybe it's just because they thought it was tasty in soup. Not sure. Don't ask any questions. They stuff them in the pot full of vegetables and Dorito soup. and they light a fire under it, and it starts cooking, and Quackling starts getting really hot, and he starts boiling. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And he's like, oh wait, I have a river inside my bag. So he opens up, and the river flows out, and it extinguishes the fire, and then he stops boiling to death. It's like, oh, thank goodness. And the guards see him crawl out of the pot, and he's like, how did you do that? Why is the fire out? So they go over and they tell the king, he's like, King, oh my gosh, he's gonna die. He just got out somehow. I don't know how. And so the king's like, calm down, guys. It's okay. I'll just take care of him myself, okay? And bring him in here, and I'm gonna kill him. And so they bring Quackling in with his bag, and as the king's going over to strangle the duck, Quackling opens up the bag and lets out the beehive, and all the bees swarm after the king, and they just start attacking him and stinging him, and the king is super scared of bees and also allergic, and so he starts screaming and running out of the throne room. He is running for his life. He's getting stung by so many bees. He's so scared, and he runs out, and he runs all the way out of town, out of the castle. Nobody ever sees him again. You don't even know if he died or if he just fell in the pit and became a sad little peasant. We wouldn't know what happened to him. But the guards were like, whatever. We never really liked him anyway. He yells at us a lot. Hey, Quackling, you want to be the king? So they hand Quackling the crown. Quackling the crown. And so Quackling is the new king, and he rules very fairly over the kingdom. He always pays his money back. And they all live happily ever after. Thank you for listening.